Hello students. So today we will go through how to create object code for SIC XC machine architecture. So I would suggest you guys to go through the object code generation for SIC and then come to this particular video. Okay. Yeah. So in SIC XC, along with the registers that are provided in SIC, there are 4 additional registers that are provided in SIC architecture, SIC XC architecture, which is BS TF. Okay, so B is for base register, which has a number 3. S is for SNT is for general purpose registers, which has 4 and 5 respectively, and F is a floating point register, which has 6. Okay, yeah. Now, along with the registers, we have instruction formats. So we have 4 types of instructions format. Okay, I'll just scroll this down. Okay, we have 4 instruction formats here. Okay, namely format 1, format 2, format 3 and format 4. So format 1 is 1 byte, 2 is 2 byte, 3 is 3 byte and 4 is 4 byte. Okay, so as the name says here, 1 byte. Okay, so here these are used for instructions which have just the instructions without any operands. For example, RSIB and JSIB. Okay, you have to just include the opcodes here in 8-bit. Now in format 2, which is 2 byte, which is 2 into 8, which is 16, if you have instructions of the form, instructions with 2 operands as registers, I'm supposed to write here as R2, then you'll have to use format 2. This also means the length of this instruction is 1 byte. Length of these kind of instructions is 2 byte. Then coming to format 3, which is 3 byte. Okay, which is 3 into 8, which is 24 bits. So first 6 bits is for the opcode, and then the next 6 bits is for the flags, namely N, I, X, B, P, E, followed by 12 bits for displacement. Now each of the flags have certain meaning. Okay, so N stands for, see, you have different kinds of addressing mode, right? See here I have included different kinds of addressing mode here, which is extended format, which is plus. Okay, this is not an addressing mode, will come here. Indirect addressing mode, it is represented by an X sign. Immediate addressing mode, which is represented by a hash sign. Index addressing mode, which is represented by X here. And in relative addressing mode, which is represented by M, that is, it's a label. Okay, it's a memory location. So in relative addressing, you have 2 types. One is a program counter and one is base. So program counter is the always which is first preferred, and its range is from minus 2048 to 2047. Okay, and the base is from 0 to 4095. If there is any number which falls out of the range of PC, then we choose base. Okay, base addressing. Now let me tell you, this N is for indirect addressing. That is, if you see any instruction of the form 8, then you will have to set N to 1. I is for immediate addressing. That is, if you have an instruction which is having hash, then you have to set I to 1. If both of them, that is, neither the instruction is neither indirect, that is, neither it has a net nor it has a hash, then you will have to set both N and I to 1. Okay, and if it has X, then you'll have to set X to 1. If it is a memory location, then you'll have to either set PC or base to 1, not both together. Either PC, that is either P to 1 or B to 1. As I have mentioned here, PC is always the first choice. So in most of the cases, we set PC to 1. Unless the range crosses this particular range, we always set P is equal to 1 for having just a label has an operand. If it is extended format, which is format 4, if the instruction is having a plus symbol, guys, if it is having a plus symbol, that means it should clearly be format 4. So in that case, only E is set to 1. So if you have an instruction which has plus, then E flag will be set to 1, which shows that it is format 4. Okay, so if it is having plus, then you will have to choose format 4 because the address is larger there. Okay, if it does not have plus, then you will have to use format 3. And if you see a plus, only E has to be set to 1. The rest we will decide as in when we progress with the problems, right? We'll get to know how we need to set the flags, and displacement here is 12. See, what is displacement? Displacement is actually nothing but, if you want to jump to a particular label or a location, that is target address. So target address is always nothing but the displacement, that is the offset. Okay, so you have to add displacement to the program counter. I hope you know what a program counter is. Program counter is the address of the next it is the address of the next instruction to be executed, right? So you have to add the displacement to the PC through which you get the target address. That is the address that you want to jump to, or the program wants to jump to. So we have to find the displacement here. So displacement is nothing but target address minus PC. Okay, so in case you choose PC, then you have to subtract PC. In case you choose base, you have to subtract base. Okay, that is displacement. Remember, the only difference between format 3 and format 4 is in the displacement. Displacement for format 3 is 12, whereas for format 4 it is 20, because it wants more addressing. Clear? Yeah. Okay. Now here, second. Okay, now see here, I have written some note here. Okay, so this will be helpful to you. If you have indirect, which is at, you have an at symbol, then you have to set n to 1. If you have a hash symbol which is immediate, you have to set I to 1. If it is neither at nor hash, then you have to set both n and I to 1. If you have instructions of this kind x, then you have to set x to 1. If you have plus in the instruction, then you have to set e to 1. And when you set e to 1, b and p are set to 0, because if e is set to 1, which means it is format 4, right? And look at the address. It is 20, which is sufficient to store any address. So you don't require a base relative addressing nor a program counter relative addressing. The target address is nothing but the address itself here, right? Address. Fine. Okay. So in that case, when you have a plus in the instruction, it means it is extended format where E is set to 1. You don't have to set B and P. It will be set to 0. Okay. And one more thing here, if you remember in SIC object code, I had told you to calculate the length of each of the instruction, right? Yeah. So now you know that if you have a format 1, okay. So if you have a format 1, okay, if you have a format 1, then you will have to add 1 to it. Wait, let me show. See here. Yes, here. If you have a format 1, then the length of the instruction is 1. If you have this kind, then the length is 2. If you have this, the length is 3. If you have this, the length is 4. Okay, that is how you decide. Apart from the instructions, you also have directives, right, guys? If you remember directives, I hope you remember directives. You have word has a directive. You have RESW, RESB, and byte. Word and byte are nothing but constant. So if you have a word directive, then you will have to add 3 irrespective of the operand. That is, you have to, that is the length of this particular directive is always 3. If you see RESW, which is you are reserving so much of data area, then you always have to multiply 3 with the operand. I think we have come across word and reserved word in the previous example of SIC code. Now, if you have reserved byte, that is, this is also saving some data area, then you will have to just mention the operand number as it is. Okay. If you have a byte, then byte and word are nothing but constant, guys. So in this, you have to count the length of the bytes and it is added. So don't worry about this. I'll be solving problems on each one of these. Okay, so you don't have to worry. Word and reserved word is already shown to you in the previous video. I'll be showing you reserved bytes and byte in some other examples. Okay, and if you remember, 1 hexa is always 4 bits. Okay, so let us proceed with the problem. Okay, so let us proceed with the problem here. So it says you have to consider the program for XIC XC written here, and you'll have to generate the object code. Okay, and this is what will be given to you, this entire thing. So I have scanned the question itself. So this entire question will be given to you, the code along with this. This is only the assembly code, guys. This is not the object code, this is assembly code. So the assembly code along with the opcodes will be given to you. Your task is from this particular page. This is what your solution should look like. Okay, yeah. Now let me start. So whatever I have written here, right, so much I have written it all over again. Okay, so that you also need to write it all over again, because that is how the flow is. Yeah. Okay, so if you remember, we have two passes, pass 1 and pass 2. In pass 1 you have to find the length of the instruction and the data area and the location of each of the labels, and then build a symbol table. So to understand this, it's better you go through the video for SIC that I have uploaded in YouTube. Okay, so just go through that, this will be clear to you. Okay, so we'll start with it. First we'll find the length. Okay, so now length here, what is the length here? As I said, you have to remember the 4 formats, guys, and if any of this instruction matches that format, you will have to take the length from there itself. So if you remember, format 1 is having just an instruction without an operand. So in that case, it is 1 byte. So if there is an instruction followed by 2 registers, it is 2 byte. Then if it is a normal instruction with operands, then it is 3 byte. If there is a plus, then it's 4 byte. Okay, as per this, we will now decide the length. Now, as I said, start is a directive. It is not considered as an instruction. Start and end are not considered as instructions, and they don't have lengths. Okay, now starting with this. This is 3. This one is 3. And this is also format 3. So it is 3. And what about RESW? If you remember, I had said that if you have RESW, you will have to multiply 1 to the operand. So what is 1 into 3? It is going to be 3. Now coming to word. What did I say? Word. If it is a word, then irrespective of the operand, you will have to always use 3 as the length. Okay, so whenever you see word, don't go by its operand. No, don't go by its operand. You have to always use 3. Now coming to RESW, it has 1. So 1 into 3, which is 3. Coming to this LDA, it's a normal instruction, so it is 3. LDX is a normal instruction, so it is 3. LDS is a normal instruction. This is a normal instruction, so this is 3. Okay. Now, what about this? This looks like it matches format 2, right? An instruction followed by 2 registers. S and X are 2 registers, right? S is the general purpose register and X is a index register. So definitely it is format 2, which is 2 byte, right? So we have written 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. Okay, so I hope this is clear, guys. So we have more to go here. Yeah, here, look at this. Here also we have 2, 2, 2, and look at this. This is, what is this? This is 3, this is 3, 3, and 3 here. And end is not considered as an instruction. It does not have a length. Okay. Now, after we are done with length, we have to calculate the address. What should you do? As I said, you need to have a scientific calculator for it, which will help you find the addresses. So usage of scientific calculator has been shown in the previous video. You have to go through it, guys. Okay. Yeah. How do we start with the address? Address will always be mentioned where? Will be mentioned here, start. So we have 1000 as a starting address, so 1000 is to be written. Now this 1000 should be added to 3 here, which gives you 1003. Similarly, this should be added to 3 here, which gives you 1006. And all these are in the form of hexadecimal. Okay, you have to set your calculator in hexadecimal mode, and then you have to find it. Okay, so I have added literally here, everything has been added here. So this is the result of all the additions. Okay, yeah, it is the result of all the additions that you see. Okay, yeah, fine. Now what do we do after this? We are supposed to find the, look at this, guys, we are supposed to find the length of the program, right? So it is going to be the final length, that is 1033 minus the starting length, which is 1000, which gives you 033. So we have found the length of each instruction, we have found the addresses, and we have found the length. What should we do now? We are supposed to store it in a SimTab table. That is, each of the labels, for example, I'll not scroll up. See, for example, exit. Exit is a label, right? Whatever you see in this particular column, all those are labels. Exit is a column. Okay, let me go through. Exit, loop, fact, result, number, RETADR, and first. All these are labels, right? And we have to store the addresses of each of the labels. For example, see here, exit. Exit has a address of 102D. Loop has an address 1021. Likewise, we have to store for the others also. First has 1000. See here, first has 1000. So this is how we store the addresses of each of the labels in SimTab. OpTab. So this is what you need to remember, guys. I said that you have to remember the mnemonics and their numbers. So these are registers, right? A is accumulator, X is index, L is linkage, B is base, and S and T are general purpose, and F is floating, PC is program counter, S is status. But you don't have to know the meanings of it. You just have to know the numbers associated. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult, right? Because you need to calculate the object code. Right now, we will start with object code. So if you remember, we have to calculate the object code. This is what is so very important, that is performed in pass-through. So we will pick each of the instructions and try to find the object code. Okay, now we'll start with this. Okay, now I have taken the first instructions, which is STL RETADL. Don't worry, all these problems are there in the notes. I'll be uploading them. We'll just go through the same problems that are in the notes. Okay, now this is definitely a 3-byte, right? So 3-byte instruction format looks like 6 for opcode and 6 bits for the flags and displacement, right? Yeah. Now what is opcode? Opcode for STL. Opcode for STL is 17, which is given in the question. So I will just write 000 for 001 for 1 and 0 1. Okay, so this is for 7, right? Okay, so this is how we represent opcode. Now coming to this,